Hello everyone, Andy here. We're on a few minutes early, so if you're already on, just take a moment and settle into your body, breathe into your belly. We're going for some meditation today, but we'll also do some light stretching beforehand and after. And the idea is like bookends. So if my main practice is stillness, then I'll work out the kinks and do something before and after, just to make sure everything gets moving and flowing. And then if my main activity is action, then I will have some type of stillness before and after as a way to balance the practice. So if you're here early or you're just catching me for the first time, then just hang out for a minute, breathe into your belly, breathe in and out through your nose, as if the lungs were in the abdomen. Let the belly inflate, expand on the inhale. Let the belly contract on the exhale. And if you're having sinus stuff or allergies or whatnot, you can't breathe through your nose, then breathe like sipping through a straw. The idea is to slow down the inhale and exhale. This has a very beneficial and amazing effect on the nervous system, the parasympathetic response in the autonomic nervous system, which tells us that we are moving out of hyper awareness activity, short term survival, fight, flight, maybe hide, freeze, maybe uh, that state of being into the relaxation state, the recovery state, the rejuvenation state, the healing state. So our breath tells us, helps to tell our physiology, our body chemistry that things are okay enough anyway. I'm safe enough. And I'm going to go ahead and return to a natural state. And so we do that significantly through our breathing. So we'll do some deep, controlled, big breaths. We will also do more of a natural, slow inhale and exhale. So that'll be through the nose, or sometimes in through the nose, out through the mouth, or just in and out through the nose. And then once again, if you can't breathe through your nose or one aspect of the breath doesn't work, then you'll breathe like sipping through a straw. So suppose we'll go ahead and get this session recording, and everything we do can be standing or seated. Even the meditations, I do a fairly long standing meditation each morning. So along with my seated meditation, it's just a balance of practice, and depending on where I'm at, how I'm feeling. Let's begin. All right, welcome to Andy Barkworth live here on Path Healing Arts, and we're going to be focusing on meditation. And this is one aspect of practice that was particularly difficult for me early on. In my younger days, probably took me a couple decades to really tune in and hone into this type of practice. So even if you just do a little bit and you get distracted and you have to get up and fidget and move, that's okay. You don't have to get it all at once. Just take it in your own time. That's also where I would encourage you to maybe try the Tuesday 8 a.m. Tai Chi and Qigong, which is a form of active or moving meditation, gives the mind a job to do, where to move the arms, how to move the body. And so as we begin to develop the ability to concentrate the mind, to focus our awareness, our attention, we'll do that during stillness meditation as well, through breathing or through some energy awareness or some idea awareness. Though that's more challenging, especially if we have anxiety or we're discomfort in the body. So once again, working out the kinks a little bit before and after is helpful. And always, just like anything else, take it to the degree that you feel comfortable with. You can always go back to previous videos and get some more detail on some of the basic ideas behind meditation. We're going to kind of just jump into the main types of practices, and this will be an ongoing process. Just like in our exercises, too much too soon, too hard too fast could be uncomfortable, could cause, injury in terms of exercise. With meditation, if we reach a point that's uncomfortable, emotions arising, some thoughts or body discomfort, it's okay to shake it off, to take a deep breath, or to even just be done. That's as far as I got today, and that's okay. Or you reach a really sweet spot and you're in a great space and you're really digging it, or you disappear and you lose track of what's happening. That's also wonderful too. So if you've reached that point, then stay with that sweet spot as long as you want to. And then you can always pick up with wherever we're at, whatever we're doing. The idea in practice is it is a practice. Just like life happens or shit happens, meditation happens. It is by choosing to, deciding to, and having the time, minutes, seconds, hours to do this inner work, this inner stillness practice. It is by making that choice, I set up the practice conditions, and by choosing my method, and there's so many different ways to go about this, and we all have our own natural way of doing this anyway. It's a natural thing for human beings, also very similar to prayer, is that we choose our practice time, we decide that this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to focus my attention on that to the best of my ability. Whatever I've got at this time is good enough. When and again, it's having flexibility. So if I have some kind of training or practice schedule and life happens or I'm not feeling it or whatever, it's okay to do something else or to do it differently. Not to be so rigid, right? Yet having some form of discipline or choice or focusing our efforts towards potential benefit. So this meditative process is one of those in the bag of tricks that's helpful, especially for one prone to get caught up in the mind, in the head, inability to take action, or not being in touch with our emotions. So we want to have this balance between the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body, and our energy and spiritual bodies. No matter what I talk about, always take it in the way that's right for you. Always reframe it for your perspective, your frame of reference, your spiritual, religious practices, whatnot. Take what's for you, leave behind what's not. And that's always the goal, is to just claim what is for me, let go of what is not. Can't do it all the time. And that's all quite all right. So we're practicing. And then meditation can happen. I set up the conditions, I make my choice, I focus my awareness. And if I'm trying too hard, then I'm probably blocking myself from those kinds of states we might be looking for in terms of peace and feeling blissful, or healing the body, releasing traumas, things like that, or working through something in our life. That dialing inward and centering, tuning inward is often the most effective method for solving the problem or working through the issue. Right? We can work it out there, and we can get resources and help out there too. It's a balance, but it's by centering into my choice and allowing the experience to occur. So this requires a great deal of patience and diligence. That even if it's for seconds at a time, once in a while, minutes at a time, each day, whatever your practice is, it's allowing it to unfold, and then you will go from it is not to it is, and it'll just happen. And that'll be a little different for everybody. I might describe some of what I'm experiencing. It's unique to me. And each time I go to it, I don't ever know what to expect. And I can't guarantee that I'm going to reach whatever I'm going for, but I set up the practice. It's probably enough of that. So let's get into it. Future sessions, I probably won't dial so deep into the details, but it's a perspective that's helpful, especially if we're not easily inclined to this type of practice. For some people, this is torment and it's very uncomfortable. And I was one of those people for a very long time did not like this kind of practice, and now I love it. Okay. So you can stay seated if you like. Just like with our other practices, we could do things standing or seated. And I'm just going to take a moment to work out some of the kinks in the body. And I'm just going to start by kind of fidgeting around and moving around and just feeling in my body for a moment. And I can't see my feet, but they're parallel, about hip width apart. I'm just kind of moving around a little bit. And as with all of our practice and training and applied practice in life, 3 cleansing breaths to adjust the system, to adjust the breath. And exhale, squeeze it out into the belly. Filling the breath from the belly up. Feel the fullness of the breath in the body and let it go. Release it from the chest down into the belly. Expelling the stale air, letting go of what's no longer needed in the body. Gathering fresh breath. As if the hands lift the breath from the earth up. As if the hands press the breath from the sky down. As if the hands press the breath out of the belly, out of the body. And third deep cleansing breath. And release. Activating the hands, chi up. If I'm in an environment where this kind of thing would be too weird, then there's all kinds of, subtle ways to go about this kind of thing. This is just merely another exercise, a way to hone an awareness and attention, to train our mind, to train our body, our energy, our emotions. Activating the hands through physical exercise, pressing, rubbing, slow it down and separate the hands. And this is called Yu Ding, U-D-I-N-G, to tune inward, to look inside. Throughout our Kung Fu training and our Tai Chi and Qigong practices, we'll often pause, take a moment in this posture. This posture is also one of the Dhammo 12 palms, the 4th posture of the heart chakra. And as we tune inward lovingly, and as we experience outward lovingly, we anchor ourselves into the heart, the most powerful organ in the body. This can be very uncomfortable. And you might have tired arms already, or your mobility might be limited, so you could always hold it instead at the belly. Or you could just rest your hands on your belly or on your heart, would also be wonderful. And once again, exhaling, gather from the earth up, from the sky down. Breath filling the body from the belly up. Emptying with a cleansing exhale. Universal sound of relief, letting it go. If I can't breathe through my nose, I breathe like sipping through a straw. Slowing down the intake. Pausing, giving my lungs time to absorb oxygen into my bloodstream. Letting the other gases, the CO2, to release as I exhale. Squeeze it out. And just shaking the branches of the tree a little bit. And always take anything you do easy at the start. Test it. How does my body respond? Is there a different way I need to do it? And honor that. This is not the no pain, no gain process. This is the incremental journey, the gentle approach, letting reality, body, life, energy, and everything shift incrementally. So go ahead and have a seat if you'd like to have a seat. I've already done quite a bit of standing meditation today, so I'm going to be seated, and I have a quiet timer to go off as I'll have my eyes closed. Although there are many meditations, and I also will meditate with my eyes open or with my eyes squinting. So if for some reason having your eyes closed is very uncomfortable for you or your environment, and you still need to have an external awareness, then just squinting your eyes like you're just barely open is another nice way to get into that internal space. And that is what I will often do if I'm out in the world or if I'm training and I want to have my visual acuity and awareness going on, yet I want to also be internally aware of what's happening inside my body and my experience. Kleenex, sometimes I cry. Sometimes I'm coughing or I need to, blow my nose. Stuff happens. So I've got that handy. Sip of water if you need it. I like to increase the turning inward and the reducing of external sensory information by putting something over my eyes. You're not obligated to do so. I'm seated upright with my feet flat on the floor. There are many, many postures and styles and methods and systems for meditation. And again, we all have some of our own unique methods, which might be nature walks or just looking out a window or just ruminating or praying. Also, oftentimes we'll sit cross-legged, which you could sit in a normal cross-legged position. I'm on a little pillow on an ottoman. This is my favorite way to do seated practice. It also gives me many options if I want to move my legs around. Also, oftentimes we'll see the half lotus position or the full lotus. If that's your thing. But I'm going to take it easy. Maybe something like a half lotus position. Or not. My leg's releasing, so I'm just going to let that go, be what it is. Have the spine upright. Majority of what we do also could be done lying down. So if that's where you're at or what you need, there are some intensive energy practices that really require standing or seated upright. But even those over time can also be performed lying down. The right awareness as we tune into the body. Our first awareness is to become aware of the breath. Where is my breath? Is it high and tight in my chest? Is it rapid and shallow? Am I in a fear mode, stress state? And as I give my mind a job to do to become aware of the breathing in my body, to feel the sensations of the breath in my body. I invite my breath to move, if it was high in my chest, to move into my intercostal, my middle section, as if maybe feeling my breath around my solar plexus and my rib cage lower down. And as I focus in awareness on my breath, I invite my breath to draw slower and deeper into the belly, into the abdomen, as if my lungs resided in my belly. And I shift my attention, my awareness to the sensation of my belly expanding as I inhale. And squeezing lightly into the belly as I exhale. When we shift from controlled deep breathing or rapid breathing, various breathing exercises, into the natural breath. The natural breath is really our natural meditative breath or our natural healing state breath. It indicates to the body, the mind, that we are safe enough. It is time to resume full function of our systems, to resume the process of digestion, absorption, elimination, to restore immunological processes, to restore cellular repair, and to begin to rejuvenate and to regenerate the body itself, soothe the difficult patches, the difficult, blocked, stuck areas, perhaps even to create new pathways, new connections in the mind body. Just breathe in and out through the belly, and if you can breathe in and out through your nose, do so. If one aspect of the breath can't be done through the nose, and breathe like sipping through a straw. It's not big and loud like the cleansing breath or the fire flower breath, if you've practiced that with me before. This is a slow, easy, gentle, natural breath. Breathing like a belly, like a baby, like a baby's belly. When the baby's needs are met and is resting, sleeping at peace. See the belly expand and contract with the breath. Before the difficulties and the traumas and the stress and struggle of life. Returning to this natural state. There are various tongue positions and eye positions, and there's all kinds of things, abdominal contractions, and different ways that we can apply additional awareness and pressure in the body or activations. There's quite a bit that could be going on, but for now, just focus on the breath, breath in the belly. Eyes closed or squinting, or even eyes open if you wish. Standing, seated, or lying down. When I've concluded my day and I'm moving into the sleep and dream state, one of my favorite ways is to place my hands on my belly, or a hand on my belly and my heart, and just feel the light expansion and contraction of my belly and chest as I inhale. Light contraction as I exhale, this expansion, inflation as I inhale. This contraction, this release, this compression as I exhale. As the lungs and the breath pump oxygen to the system. As the heart beats and pumps blood, feeding our systems, our body. Just become aware, tuning inward, focusing inward into my body, into whatever's going on inside my mind at this time. We often associate meditation with the kind of posture I'm in at this time, a stillness and emptiness of the mind. And that can occur where the thoughts slow down so much, it becomes so spacious that we lose track of the body, that the thoughts come so slow, it feels like the mind itself is emptied. Yet we know that the brain, the activity is always occurring. And that's okay. Most likely, we might still be making lists in our head or thinking about what comes next or dealing with what happened before. And as thoughts come up, I just begin to redirect my thoughts, my awareness to my breath, the sensations of my breath in my body, of the chest and lungs inflating and belly expanding on the inhale, chest compressing, belly compressing on the exhale. Light and easy, smooth, gentle, full but not forced. might feel emotions coming up. I might already be in an emotional state when I begin. Meditation is often the practice of just observing, just becoming aware of how I feel and the activity in my mind, and being okay and just let it flow. Most often meditation is just the process of letting go. Emotions, life experience, thoughts come and go. They're transitory, though some may feel like they stick. Some might be feeling warmth in the body and a relaxation or a spaciousness. Some may be feeling tight and in pain in certain areas or uncomfortable. I never know what my experience will be. Sometimes something will show itself as a tightness or a pain somewhere in my body. Show me where to put my attention, my awareness. Not to let it go. Thank it for its service. Whatever lesson is embedded in that difficult thought, challenging emotion, or pain in the body, whatever it is that has gotten to the point where it really needs to talk loudly to get my attention. I slow down my breath. I breathe into the belly. Concentrate my awareness. And then I include this difficulty, challenge, or pain, this discomfort, as being okay for now. That in gratitude, whatever I am to learn, to gain from this experience, that I choose to tune inward towards it. That I shall not hide from it. I shall not wish it away, yet if it's something that needs assistance, intervention, medical treatment, anything like that, then that's what I'll do. I'll pursue whatever natural means that I can. And if I need external assistance, therapy, whatever it happens to be, then I will allow that, because that is also part of this great creation, experience of reality, of life. But whatever I use outside or inside, it's really up to me to accept the reality of what and where and how I am at this time. And if that is something that is dangerous to me, or something that is unhealthy, uncomfortable, distorted, whatever it may be, that I can tune in towards it, I can look at it, I can breathe with it. And as I begin to accept what's going on, that might clear my vision, might gain insight, intuition, or awareness of how best to proceed. I need not dwell on it, feed it, exaggerate it, fantasize on how bad it could be or how bad it is. I let myself be aware of it and not in denial of it. And by being present with it, being in the space of the experience, the sensation, that I might be able to let go. I might be able to absorb the lesson embedded in whatever is happening, and that I might find the solutions. If it's gotten to the point where I need something external, then I seek to find the correct treatment, therapy, whatever it happens to be, the best possible method to help resolve what has maybe gotten out of hand. And if it's life situations, circumstances, and choices, then I allow myself to look honestly at what is going on in my life. There may be some truth that I am avoiding out of fear or shame or anger or sadness. I allow myself to feel what there is to feel and allow those feelings to flow through me. I allow my ability to consciously focus to help make the right choices, to respond in the most healthy, appropriate, wise, harmonious way. Breathing into my body, breathing into my belly. Sometimes I really can sit still. Sometimes something's coming up and I have to squeeze it with my muscles and move my body. Maybe I need to let go and uncross my legs, foot falling asleep. Maybe things aren't circulating all the way. So at any time I need to adjust my body, I do that. If I can return to the stillness from there, wonderful. If I've gone as far as I can go, wonderful. If I've entered into a sweet spot and I just want to ride that, float in it, experience it, then that is wonderful too. For a time, who knows, maybe the next handful of decades, we'll practice standing postures and some slow movement meditation, hand posture meditations, various breathing techniques. It's really about practicing things enough that you acquire the skill. And then really it's about letting that be applied and used in a way that serves you best. That have various choices, ways to self-care and soothe, ways to self-heal, ways to explore, expand, and grow. That at any time, in any way, that I could tune in and listen to my body, to my state of being, my mind, my emotions, my level of energy. How much energy do I have? Am I fatigued, distressed? Am I tip-top and just ready to go? Those kinds of things will help guide my choice as to what level of practice is good for me. How much exercise, how much activity, how much stillness, that I may arrive at the thing that may help me along, to get me moving if I've been stagnated, to slow me down if I'm going too fast, too hard, if I'm pushing too hard, before the universe has to slap me a little bit and make me slow down, as to avoid something worse further down the road. So it's by just taking these times, sometimes 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, building up over time. For some people, this is really easy to do. For some people, this is very challenging. Even a minute long seems like an eternity. Just keep shifting my thoughts, my awareness to my breath and to my belly, the sensation of breathing in and out through my nose, or pursing and slowly breathing through my lips. Later on, we'll discuss and share other ways of activating the body and the mind, our energy, our connections, our emotions. As we move into this awareness, the stillness, the inner experience, whatever is for me at this time, let come to me. Whatever I needed to know, to feel, or to experience, that I allow myself to look at it, to be with it, to be honest with it. That I give myself tenderness and love, compassion, kindness along the way. If I've gotten to the point where I act out and I treat others poorly because it's too painful to be with what I'm feeling inside of me, maybe I'm able to shift just enough of my perception. Maybe I'm not ready to face it all. But little by little, the gentle, graceful journey, rather than the all in your face all at once, the big happening. Maybe I can begin to shift how I treat others, and maybe that will help me to shift how I treat myself. And if I can't yet extend kindness, love, and compassion to myself, then I may begin to share more of that with others. And over time, that I may be able to feel, to be with what's happening inside of me that has made me act out. We just breathe slow and deep, return our awareness to the breath in the body. Watch the thoughts come and go into the mind. We cannot predict or control what thoughts will be generated in our brains, though we can shape the landscape of our minds by beginning the awareness of the thoughts that are taking place in our minds. Begin to guide and redirect and even replace thought patterns of the mind. So we may even be able to include the potential, the possibility that things could change, could get better. Even if I need to acknowledge my illness or my pain or my difficult circumstance or my loss. Even if I need to be true and honest with my predicament, then I may also include the chance, the possibility that having this awareness and accepting what has happened so far, that I may be able to choose and to forge a new way. Even if my mind tells me I can never, it will never. I've failed. It's over. It's hopeless. Even if my mind tries to feed me, I can include the thought, the awareness that I don't really know that to be true. How could I know what thoughts will come, what will happen on earth, what will happen in my environment, in my body, in my life? How could I possibly know and predict exactly what will transpire from this moment forward? That at the very least, I could be and include the awareness that I don't know. And in not knowing, then there is possibility that things can change. There may be something better or something more aligned with who we are could take shape in our minds, our emotions, our body, our life. Just becoming aware of the thoughts in the mind, the feelings, sensations in the body, the emotions, aware of the breath. And let's just begin to lightly rub our hands together like you're washing your hands. Rubbing the hands together, maybe just hold them together, maybe just place them somewhere on your body. Maybe there's a part of your body that was talking to you and needs a little bit of touch. Just begin to massage yourself a little bit if that feels good. Maybe all along you've been moving and fidgeting, and you've been standing up and sitting down, lying down, and you've been pacing or whatever's going on. That's okay too. I release the cross-leg position. I'll tap my feet on the ground, rub my hands together, breathe into my belly. Shake it out. Might be ready to stand up. If you're not ready to stand up, just stay where you are. Or you might be ready to just slide down instead. Shaking a leg. And oftentimes I'll do this next thing seated while I'm still coming out of meditation. I might stand up or do both. And you could even do this lying down in your bed. I'll go ahead and do it seated this time. We're just going to do a little bit more breath and body circulation pumping just to make sure anything that got, moving that had been maybe stuck, that it has a chance to move and to be processed in the body and in our experience. That anything that may have gotten built up and didn't have access channel to flow through, that we can allow that to flow. And if there's something that came up that was too much and we weren't ready for, well, then we can let that be for now. It's okay. So we're going to start with the 3 cleansing breaths. Exhale, as if the hands fill the breath into the body, up. Like pouring a glass of water as it fills from the bottom up. And as it empties from the top down, as if the hands squeeze it out. Filling from the belly up to the chest. Gathering the breath. Empty from the chest down. Squeezing the belly. One more deep breath. And you ding. Relax the breath, relax the body. Tuning inward, looking inside. One of the many postures for the heart. And if holding your arms up is uncomfortable, you can just place your hands on your heart or on your body somewhere, your belly, or just let them rest. And if you'd like to, you can join me with some movement of the arms and circulation. And reach out to the side. And now scooping from around us, from the earth up, all around our body to the front and back in all directions. And we're just going to add that to the atmosphere, the heavenly chi pouring down, and we're just going to let that cascade and wash and flow down through the body, all the way through the body, through the feet, into the earth. And if we have limited range of motion for whatever reason, if I can't go all the way up, then I can come out into the front. I'm going to go for a big hug. And if even that is too much, then I can reach out low around my belly and circulate that way. Maybe even if that is too much, then I just rest my hands somewhere in my body. So I continue to circulate from the outside in. I gather myself and I add myself to myself and receive all of what I am has been, is now, and will be. Gather my fullness. We could be doing this with deep controlled breathing, but for now, just follow the motion. Just let your mind be aware of the position of the arms and the movement in the body. And now from the inside out, coming up like we're doing the cleansing breath. And as the hands reach the face and the head, they'll begin to rotate skyward, reaching up or reaching out, wherever your range of motion is, and then moving out in all directions. Brushing our arms to our guardian field, our aura, our personal space. It's like combing out the tangles, repairing torn thread, weaving new connections. As I circulate and gather myself in fullness from the bottom up, from the earth up, continues up to the sky, to the heavens, to the cosmos, and moves around me in all directions like I am at the center of a golden sphere, a golden sun. My personal space surrounds me, and I am free to move easily, gracefully in my body, through and around my body, outside of my body. This is my sacred, safe, protected space. One more time from the inside out again. If I can't reach up, I reach out. And you can be where you are and shake a leg, tap the feet, or if you're standing upright, you can step in place, rub the hands, maybe clap them. It's just an exercise, way to connect. Shake it out. If something comes up, for me, frustration, anger, sadness, whatever, the important thing is I am allowed myself to feel that, because that's what I'm feeling. If I judge it as being bad or incorrect, it might be distorted and reacting too far, so I can dial that in and be more selective in how I respond and deal with that. But one of the greatest treasures is the breath. It is the closest connection to spirit, where spirit enters form, and that is the most vital physiological function of life for human beings, is the breath. So honor your breath, and if you need to continue to process the emotion or whatever's coming up, obviously I'm not going to do this in public loudly, but even in public, I might use some of these techniques, and I actually often do. But if I'm in somewhere comfortable, safe, then I might, I might squeeze my body and just try to get that out. That's okay. It's just get it manageable. I'm not trying to eradicate sadness forever, anger forever. Those are important feelings. But if something got stuck or opened up, or something was so big in my moment that it's really just causing this big response, then I can use my breath and regain my center and get into my belly, into my body, and give myself the opportunity to make the best possible choice, to respond the best possible way. That though I cannot change what has happened, or in the moment I might be faced with a critical decision on how to proceed from what's happening in my life, that I can use and honor my breath, my strongest function, as a way to help manage and to feel the body, the emotions, and to begin to soothe and focus and concentrate my awareness, my intellect, my insight, and intuition. Hope you've enjoyed your journey. I never know what I'm going to do. There's a plan. Plans always change. So namaste, sheshe. Thank you, sheshe. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Hope you enjoy the replay and all that stuff. Peace and love.